On Into the Mindset, we know a healthy body starts with a healthy environment. But mold, excess moisture, and foundation settling in your crawl space can silently harm your lungs and your home. Squeaky floors and cracking walls, that's a red flag. Advanced Crawlspace Solutions offers encapsulations that can boost energy savings by up to 20%. Plus, vapor barriers and rot repair to protect your air, your home, and your health. A healthy crawl space means a healthier you. Click the link below to get a free quote today. And don't forget to type in Into the Mindset to get 5% off. On Into the Mindset, we are all about protecting what matters most. And that includes your safety and your time. Fall is just around the corner, and with it comes leaves, clogged gutters, and dangerous ladder climbs. Freedom Gutter Covers gives you a lifetime no-clog guarantee, so you'll never have to risk a fall or clean your gutters again. Let us install your covers today so you can focus less on chores and more on faith, family, and freedom to be a healthier you. Click the link below to get a free quote today. And don't forget, type in Into the Mindset to get 5% off. Welcome to Limitless Living Into the Mindset, the podcast that dives into the heart of growth, grit, and what it really means to keep moving forward. Coach Smith, welcome to the podcast. We're glad to have you.
Welcome, Clint.
Thank you. Glad you guys had me here. Thank you.
Yeah, we're super excited about it. I kind of want to just start off with a little bit about you, but I also want to go straight into your wrestling program and kind of this past season and what you guys are looking forward this upcoming season, and just really how you took it from a pretty small team to, I mean, you guys grew tremendously this year.
We really did. I met the kids early in the season. Didn't get to meet them last year when I was hired, but it's a long process to get through SPS, all the hoops you have to jump through that. But once we got started, we had a meeting and met with all the kids in the library around about this time, about a week or two from where we're at right now. School had started and called a meeting so we can meet all the kids that are interested in wrestling or potentially wrestling, and got in there, took attendance on all the kids that were there. I met some of the other coaches that had been there before, and they're just great people too. Brought them in and talked with them. After we're done, everything went great, got numbers and all that. Went and talked to our AD, her receptionist, said, I cannot believe the numbers we've had in here. It's huge. And she said, Coach, don't get too excited. That's not going to last. I mean, we can get some good numbers, but they're not going to last. Well, I guess backstory, Coach Coleman, who I'd coached with here and at Catholic, he'd kind of sold me pretty good. And then I wrestled in the U.S. Open last year, so the kids had kind of been following that. We started the season in the winter. We did all the preseason workouts and that. And I met with all the kids early in the year and said, put your arm around the person next to you. Look at that person and make a pledge that you're going to be here in 3 months when we're done. Make a pledge today. Coach Rourke, Randy would always say this: if this wrestling isn't for everybody, but if you get a week in and it's not for you, no lost respect. I get it; it's not for everybody. But if you've made it beyond that, stick it out and see it through. That there's life lessons learned in that. So our kids made that pledge. We ended with 54 kids, literally twice what we'd had in years past. And I replaced a really good coach who was only there for a year. So we were heading in the right direction.
Yeah. Those are great numbers, really, because I still remember wrestling, and you always knew the first week or two how many people were going to drop out. Right? Oh, we have to run. Oh, we're sweating. Yeah, there's a lot to it. I mean, it takes a lot of commitment for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I come from a wrestling family. The Starnes family here in Lebanon is pretty well known. Both my uncles wrestled. My dad wrestled. My cousins wrestled. A couple of them state wrestlers for the town. And when it came down to me starting out as a kid, getting into the kid wrestling and everything, I went to a few of the practices and I was like, this seems gross. So it wasn't so much the running and the exercise and everything that went into preparing to wrestle. It was more of just I don't want to like roll around with this other sweaty dude.
Guy, right.
So I was kind of out on that, but
that makes up 70% or more of the population. I didn't know that about you. I've seen you ever since you were little, probably in high school. Seen you. I just always liked you. Your personality, you got a great personality. Same person that you are today that I know now. But I didn't know I know Colin Starnes.
Yeah.
Who's your dad? You related to Mike and Kenny and all that, and those Starnes?
Yeah. So Mike and Kenny are my uncles, and then my dad's Scott Starnes.
Don't know him.
He's the black sheep of the family. He's the one, he moved out of Lebanon and he's doing his own thing. He's down at the Lake of the Ozarks now with Andy Gibson's team down there as Realty.
Your family and my family are woven together through wrestling. I think 100 years when we're gone, we will still have some kind of impact. It goes way back. My uncle is what really got me into wrestling. Mike Smith, he just retired as a teacher here, got me into wrestling when I was young. Now, when he started wrestling, he was in high school. Mike Starnes is in like 8th grade. We'd come up there and roll around with him. Mike became really good. Actually, I'm not sure. Is Kenny older?
Kenny is older, yes.
Yeah, because I even warmed up and wrestled with Mike when I was in high school. He would come up and just help out or just, kind of, he wasn't a coach, I don't think, but he was an assistant or helped with the team as well. So
what an impact your family has on wrestling here. And you go anywhere in Missouri and Lebanon is respected for wrestling. So Mike and my uncle were wrestling there. Kenny, I'm assuming, was in there as well. They became the first brothers to be state medalists. They were both all state. Fast forward to when I was competing. Mike and Kenny both wrestled with me. They were in the room wrestling all the time. Fast forward beyond that, Kyle Starnes and I started wrestling out of Jolie Barber. That's Mike's oldest boy. Fast forward beyond that, let me see here. Aaron became a state finalist.
Yep.
They became the first father-son state medalist in Lebanon history.
That's awesome.
Years later, my son Landon becomes a state medalist. We become the second father-son state medalist behind Mike and Aaron Starnes. Years later, Zachary takes 2 state medals. So Mike, and Kenny for that matter, I love them like they're family and we'll always be woven together. And Kyle too. I love Kyle. I do. When I see him, I want to tell him, hey, we moved ahead of you guys.
Yeah, right. You had to one up him.
Yeah. And he'll mouth back. He'll have something to mouth back at you, but he'll love to hear that. And he'll like hearing this and just the legacy. Because they've left a legacy on our wrestling program here. And you guys have too. And now you've moved on even from that and you're leaving legacy elsewhere too. So
yeah, it's
cool.
From that kind of inspiration. I love wrestling so much, and your family had such an impact on that. Makes me like you even more. You're part
well, like I said, it was not my thing, but they did a great job with the program. It was cool watching, all of Mike's boys come up in the program, and then watching Aaron and what he was able to accomplish in it. Was pretty cool because we were kind of, as I was leaving high school, he was coming into it. So I was able to kind of see some of that transition as he was going into high school and just was kicking butt. So
I think I'd told Mike or maybe Coach Rourke at some point, Aaron had such a tough go through it. Jake was so good. Jake was a 100-match winner.
Yeah.
Kyle was so good when he was wrestling. That's Coach Starnes, principal out of Jolie Barber. Aaron was one that really didn't have a lot of success. He got beat up a lot, and I hope I'm not embarrassing him. He's one of my favorite kids.
Well, he also, his particular class that he was in
52.
They were a good class. So, he was.
Yeah, that makes it a lot harder.
It makes it a little harder. You're going up against some good kids, and then even just that Lebanon team that particular year was a good team as well. So it makes it a lot harder, but he was able to do it. He did well.
I have, there's probably a dozen kids. I see him, every time I see him, I have to hug him. And Aaron is one of those. I make it a point to tell my kids, hey, I'm proud of you. Aaron's remarkable. Been a highway patrolman, just that whole Starnes, your whole family.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and we owe him a little bit of congratulations too. I think this past weekend, Luke Winfrey up at First Baptist Church, she had the honor of baptizing Aaron.
Awesome.
and everything.
I saw
so
that.
That's great.
he did
Yeah.
that. So that's really cool. Congratulations to Aaron for that too. So we're talking about him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's exciting
Lift him
news.
up.
But so let's get back to your program. What school is that with, and what was kind of the mindset going into this year, and how are we going to kind of improve on last year, with last year being a good season?
I'm at Hillcrest High School. I had gotten a call from Spike. Spike Fogel was the coach I replaced. And when you've done it as long as I have, you make a lot of friends in there. Well, when Coach Rourke retired, that was my last year in Lebanon. I'd been here for 8-9 years. That was my last year here. Told the wife, I said, kind of like to get back in being a head coach. I'd kind of like to do that again, kind of like do things my way. We get old and cantankerous. And she said, I'll tell you what, she thought about it. She said, I'll tell you what, you take a year off and I'll support anything you do. Happy wife, happy life. So, you know, okay, fair enough. I didn't want to lose my fastball because I felt like I'm critical. I think good coaches you're a coach. You're very, very critical on, are they hearing what I'm showing them? Are they getting it? I felt like I'm really, I'm hitting my stride. So I was reluctant, but thought that's fair. Well, a year later, Coach Rourke had retired, and then Kyle had called him up and said, hey, you got any interest in coaching Jolie Barber? And he's, kind of just wanting to be dad, just kind of wanting to watch my kids wrestle. He goes, it's a short season. You'll have fun. Well, Randy did it. And Randy's a really good friend of mine. He said, oh my gosh, you won't believe how much fun that was. It was awesome. Loved it. He loved coaching with Kyle. And Mike had since come out there and coached with him. He asked me, he goes, you got any interest in coaching out Jolie Barber? Because this is a year later. I'd taken my year off. I said, I'm not sure. I don't have any head jobs. I don't know. Let me check, see what we've got. I think I can commit 6 weeks to it or whatever. And did it and loved it. We had so much fun. I've been doing it 20 years. He's been at Lebanon 21. He's got a vast, we've got over 40 years of coaching between the two of us out of Jolie Barber. And then you had Mike, who's been doing it since, early 80s.
Birth, maybe. I don't know.
Right. Well,
Him out wrestling.
Yeah.
So did that, and we had a great time. In the meantime, Spike said, hey, I'm heading over to Rogersville. I'm going to coach out there, which I thought was a crazy move because Rogersville's really good, and Coach Carter there is kind of a legend in the area. He started the Nixa program. He told that. He said, you got any interest? I said, yeah, kind of. I kind of like Hillcrest. It's straight up 44. It's an easy drive for me. I'm not moving. I love my community. I love here. My son, we've got a 10-year-old that is a Yellow Jacket all the way through. And I said, let me think about it. So I did and talked with Sarah, and she kind of, for a second, she thought, I could almost tell she didn't like it. And then, just like that, she goes, you know what? You kept your word, and I'm on board. I'm full tilt. Whatever I support you. So it was awesome. Last season had a great season. We had, I told you, we had great numbers. The kids made that commitment. It's not rocket science. If you love your kids and they know you love them, you're consistent. Just like raising your own kids, we're all dads here. Be consistent. It just kind of took care of itself. It really, we had winning records on the guys and the girls. Our girls went back-to-back winning city championship for what it's worth. I think our girls team, if not this year, maybe next year, I think we're going to contend for a state trophy, a team trophy, which is extraordinary.
That was good. How many girls do you have for wrestling?
There's 14 spots in the lineup, and I think that was one of our biggest obstacles last year. We didn't fill 14 spots. We had about 18 girls. We kind of bottlenecked from about 150 on up. Our 155, Tatiana Martinez, she was last year was our first year in the new conference. She was the Ozark Mountain Conference Wrestler of the Year, which was really cool. And we're tough from there on up. Interesting story. We have Kenzie Price, a little 110, And I told you, we bottleneck from the upper weights up. I tell the kids, hey, get up and down the hallway. I was going to say, our kids are your best recruiter. I mean, if you're,
yeah, we were talking about him earlier. Coach Bant, he was the best at that in motivating us as the kid and the team to be out there and just recruiting and just trying to get, and that, that's how we grew the team to what it was that particular year.
Talking to your peers, getting interest, and
they'll sell it. If you're not, if there's anything about your character or anything that's glaring, anything, they can pick that up. And I mean, they'll also be an obstacle, but our kids did it. Kenzie, gosh, this girl works her butt off. She does everything right. She's worked all summer, practices every time the door's open. She does everything right. Well, I told her, I said, you're going to have to find some lightweights here. You can't wrestle with our 235s or our 170s or what is just not, you just need people your size. She goes out and recruits Bella Plotke, this little, kind of, the best way to put it, she's just kind of a goth girl. I don't know why she would ever want to be an athlete. Dark hair. I mean, she just doesn't look like she'd ever want to be a wrestler. She took to it like a duck in water. I mean, she's going to win 100 matches before it's said and done.
Wow,
she comes in at 105. So Kenzie now has a practice partner, 105 and 110. She's same age as Kenzie. She's a junior this year. By the end of the year, and she started this year, by the end of the year, we get to conference, the very first weight, 100. I think McDonald County girl won it. Bella wins 105. So she is the second Ozark Mountain Conference champion in history. And she just started last season.
Just decided to, start. That's what's kind of cool about these sports that don't get maybe as much attention as your kind of core or more popular sports like baseball, basketball, football, volleyball. Those are kind of like those are the ones you really hear more about. And then when you get into, track and cross country and tennis and wrestling's a little, closer. But when you get into those sports, it gives those kids an opportunity to maybe I can step into this. And all of a sudden, a kid who wasn't doing anything is now competing at a high level.
More of an individual type sport. It's a team, but you're still, team, and it's more based on individual.
And that's what I tell our kids all the time with cross country or kids that I'm trying to bring onto the team is, it's individual. You go out there, you run your race. You're doing that all by yourself, but it's team score still. So the better you do, the better the team does. And so there's that motivating factor as well. But the cool thing is no matter what level you are, you get to compete. You're not sitting on a bench. You're not staying on a sideline.
That's right.
You're out there competing. You're participating in it. And that's what's really cool about.
What grade were you in there? State.
That was my junior year.
Junior year. So you're contributing. You guys take a state team trophy. You've got a state medal right there, and you contributed the same as. What am I seeing? Was that 8, 9 guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys wouldn't have done that with one less.
No, and we've all kind of gone our separate ways and things since then. Some of us stay connected and stuff, but I can tell you what it really took to do that was. We were a family. I mean, we spent just about every minute of every day together, whether we were training or just hanging out or being stupid, as a bunch of high school boys would be. We were doing it together. And so when we go into races, that's how we were able to run. I wasn't the fastest one by any means. We have some legendary Lebanon runners on that team, Kyle McClure, Nathaniel Rogers, and a couple of those guys. I wasn't the fastest one, but we ran together for that first mile and a half, and then from there it was kind of every man for himself. But with the way cross country scored, it's like golf, lowest score wins. So as long as your 5th, 6th, 7th guy are beating all the other teams' 5th, 6th, and 7th guys, you have a chance to be competing well and placing higher. And so it took great leadership from McClure and Neer and Rogers, even Weiss. He was younger than us at the time, but like he was a great leader of that program and was a great runner. So it took them kind of pulling all of us up to compete as a team in that. And so we were able to accomplish something pretty cool and something
I think when you're family, it really makes a big difference. Coach Bandy is exceptional at that. I'd mentioned before we started just how much I love that guy. I've known him forever. I actually got to coach wrestling with him one year, which I loved. He might be older than I am. He just looks much younger than I.
Man, I don't remember Bandy coaching us.
He did. Yeah, it would have been, what would that have been, around 99 probably?
Gosh, what an atmosphere that must have been.
It was awesome.
Right.
We had such a we won the only Mid-Mo Conference championship ever here. It was a fun year, and I had the privilege to coach my old high school coach, learned so much. I use a lot of things today that I learned from him, the way he handled referees, the way he handled seating meetings. But we had a lot of fun. He had an interview in the newspaper when we won the Ozark, the Mid-Mo Conference championship. They said, Coach, you've always made it a point not to stress conference as much. Districts and at that point sectionals and states always been your goal. And he goes, well, the way he worded it, there's no way I can word it as elegant, but he said, I grew up with 5 brothers and sisters, and Mom had the table set, and the table was there, and the steak's out or whatever. Set up and take a bite, or it was just funny the way he said it. The point he was getting at is that we had a loaded team. We went undefeated that year. Let's step up and do it. Had Willie McCowan, who was exceptional. He was 4-time state medalist, 3-time All-American at UCM. They've since inducted him to the UCM Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Really good teams.
That's really good. Yeah, it helps to have that kind of talent backing you up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and to spar with as well.
Right,
I mean,
right.
It's especially in wrestling and things like that. It's important it's a lot easier to build other people up when you're that good. So you're just pulling them up with you. And that's bringing it back to life. We were just talking about this morning. Darren likes to send me a lot of videos, Facebook reels and stuff.
You're welcome.
Early in the morning, because he's one of those crazies that wakes up at like 4 a.m. and goes and works out and then sits in his hot tub and sends a bunch of videos out to people. But he sent me one this morning, and basically it started off with, as you, and this is men or women, doesn't really matter, but you have kind of two different, you have two different like versions of yourself.
Right.
You have the version where you are creating your best self and you're becoming your best self. And then once you become that, you go into the second version where you're sharing that with everybody. And that's
basically your purpose. What is your purpose? And the first purpose is to be the best person you can be, period. Mm-hmm. And then the second is to share that and to help other people do the same. So, and he was talking about how he thought it was biblical, how he felt like that's what Jesus Christ would want, how, that was more just the whole synopsis of what life should be about. Yeah. So, and it just makes sense.
And I learned so much of that on my cross country team. And I know there's a lot in wrestling or with any sport really where you might have that successful person, but what are they doing? Are they standing on a pedestal and saying, everybody look at me? Or are they being a good leader? And are they looking back and saying, hey, get up here and come with me?
Yeah.
And hearing these stories of these wrestlers that you're talking about, we have been blessed to have a lot of good leaders within our wrestling programs within Missouri. But we've also had that with our cross country program, our track program, not just coaches, but kids as well. That particular year, I had great leadership that were kind of like, no, there were times where if you didn't wake up for morning practice, we would run to your house and pull you out of bed.
Love it.
And
Love it.
Right.
You're coming, you're running
Right.
with us. That was part of the leadership that we had. And we have some of that same leadership with our program this year. You know, we have Abby, who she's a state runner. She's got all the records in the world. She's just great at what she does, but she could very much just be like, I'm the best, leave me alone. Like, I'm just going to do my thing. But so often she's reaching out to the other girls, and you guys can be up here with me and trying to pull our team. And we have a really good girls team, and we have potential to go far with it. So
Good mentorship.
Do you coach track in the spring as well?
I do not coach track in the spring.
You guys got to get Coach Rogers over there with you too. It's funny.
Coach Rogers is with track.
No, I mean over with cross country as well.
Cross country.
It's
he said, because we still run with the kids as much as we can. And last time we tried to get all of the, I think it was Matthew Benage reached out on Facebook to all of us. He was like, let's all get together, sometime, kind of have a reunion of everybody. And I can't remember who it was, but somebody had mentioned, yeah, let's all go for a run together. And I think Rogers was one of the first ones. It's like, I don't run anymore.
Interesting story on that. His point is, it's interesting. You should talk with him about that on why he doesn't. And I agree with it. Interesting. If you get a chance, you should read Ultra Marathon Man. And you kind of fit the mold. The difference between distance runners and track and cross country runners. Mm-hmm. And it's just funny the way they're talking about. They said you go up to track, the 1,600, 3,200 runners in there. They'll have the state-of-the-art cleats, and this isn't meant to be a knock on you or whatever.
Oh, no, I'm loving every bit of this. I know where you're going with it.
State-of-the-art cleats. They'll have a perfect uniform. They'll have, their hair is usually short. They're, just in a tight box. Fast forward to the cross-country folks. They might just be wearing tennis shoes. The track people will stretch for an hour before they go out there. The cross-country people show up, take off and run 10, 12 miles. I think, although I don't really fit the mold, I think that describes me more too. I'm probably going to end up hurt at some point as a result of it, but I just show up and go.
So how'd you get started running? You wrestled. I've known you were doing some actual UFC training for a while. How did you ended up getting into running?
I jokingly say I hate running, and there is some truth to that.
Every runner says that.
My uncle and my Coach Herman, back in the day, they were really, really big on, if you're going to be successful as a wrestler, and I wrestled, I played football, played baseball. I was active in a lot of things, but wrestling is really so different than everything else. It requires a lot more commitment. It was crazy on how disciplined I was, even in high school and in college for wrestling. But they said, if you're going to be successful, you need to get out and do some running. You need to go on. They weren't just talking to me. They were talking to, my uncle was talking to me, but to the team, get out and do some running. And I really kind of bought in. At 15, 16, I bought in on that. I preach this. Every high school wrestler here for probably the last 20 years has heard me say it at one point or another. Every high school kid in Springfield would convey this. I want the first period in wrestling to go as hard as you possibly can go, as hard as you can go. You get to the second period, I want you immediately get set. If I want you on your feet, if we want to defer to the third or whatever, I want you to get set. Make him cover you right away, and I want you to still be able to breathe through your nose. Third period, put your foot on the line, go as hard as you possibly can for, at that point, 4 minutes, but put your foot on the line, make him put his foot on the line, and still be able to breathe through your nose. So again, I'm circling back. I believe that by running, that was a quick, easy way of building your tank. Mm-hmm. I bought into it. What I didn't really think about, and today, fast forward way forward to today, what it does for you mentally, there's nothing like it. I'm telling you right now, you will never hear me bragging about anything I've done, but I can look you in the eye and tell you, I know I'm tough. You want to break me? Good luck to you. Have at it. I challenge you. That's what I got from wrestling. That's it. Running. That's why I started. Getting started back over the last 6 or 7 years ago. Ultimately, this kind of a funny story, and I do like this. I'm at the gym up in Marshfield. I'm a CrossFit. I'm part of the cult. I love CrossFit. And
that's what they always say. The first part of CrossFit is to talk about
to talk about CrossFit. Yeah.
I had to weave it into our conversation.
I knew it had to come out.
You did, you did really good at that.
Perfect.
Usually they're more blunt with it.
Right.
Do CrossFit now.
What Nick,
Runners are the same way though. So we're not very far off. So
we're blessed in our community with Nick and Trisha Grunwald, two of the best human beings you'll ever meet, and Tim and Cole. Outstanding. I mean, our young kids, young adults, and even old adults. If you get into either or both of those communities, you'll convey. But just very good people. But CrossFit, love it. So I'm in the gym it's a Wednesday, and a handful of my buddies in there go, Smith, we're doing this half in Willard, the Frisco. Have you ran Frisco?
It's no.
Awesome run. We're doing this half on Saturday. You ought to join us. Now, let me see. I'll check with Sarah, see what we've got going on, see if we have anything, and if so, I'll do it. I'd done zero training for it, none. I was in shape, working out and that, but I showed up on Saturday and ran it, or I told him on Friday, yeah, I think I'll do it. And I was able to get in, ran it on Saturday. Now, I don't want to lose in anything. I'm telling you, I'm trying to win, and I tell people out there, we're not going to win them all, but wanting to is everything. Try like crazy to win. So we're out there, and this is one thing I learned, especially if like you and I are running, and we're all out there running. It's unrealistic for us to think that we're going to be able to not let him pass us if we're on a half mile or a half marathon or whatever. It's unrealistic to think that.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah,
I didn't understand that. So I'm getting it. I'm running again. Had done no training for this. At about an 8-minute pace, and I'm a chubby guy. I'm 230 or whatever back then.
I feel that. Right.
I'm watching these people. Well, I hung on as long as I could, and then eventually they'd get past me. And I felt as wrecked after that as I did after the 50 that I did in Madison a couple of years ago. It was awful. About a week, I was so beat up, but that's what really got me into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a constant drive. It sounds like always to better yourself and to push yourself. So,
yep.
Which is a mental thing more as much as it is a physical thing, because I think that, I've been talking to Colin about running, and, I'm mentally not there yet.
Well, and I told him, it was funny. He was talking to me about it, not last week, but the week before. And he's like, okay, I want to start doing this. He goes, can you get me some type of like plan to get started with it? Like, what do I need to do to kind of get started? And I said, I will do all of that when you're back from vacation. Because I knew he was going on vacation the next week. And I'm like, the worst thing we could do is you run Friday and then go on vacation Saturday.
Well said. You're 100%
because
right.
You're not going to keep up with it on vacation, typically. Now, if you are a true runner, you actually look forward to vacation. You actually run more on vacations than
we just got back from Panama City.
But for someone just starting out, it's like, no, you can't change your schedule right as you're going into a program. And so I was like, we'll talk about that when you get back from vacation.
I'm curious to hear, you're doing a 365 run. I did that last year. I think it was last year. It was last year. I'm curious to hear, what are you doing? How many miles are you doing? And the reason I ask is that's something, a pattern is what would get you into running.
Yeah. So actually, good thing you brought that up, because now I get to talk about my failures. A couple weeks ago, I actually had to give up on it because I had my IT band. I couldn't walk on my right leg. Common
from running.
And here's what I did wrong with it. So I'll start with that, and then I'll talk to you about the things that I did right with it. So this was a learning process for me as well. So I have 3 kids all doing 3 different sports at the moment. I have, my wife, she's also very busy with the things that she's doing. So trying to schedule it out, I was like, okay, I have to make sure I get the run, because that's the challenge. So there were some days where I could only get the mile. That was the minimum amount. So there were some days I could only get the mile. And then there were other days where I was going out for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever. Because sometimes you just want to go and you just keep running because you feel good. So I kind of let that just happen. What I did wrong was I focused too much on the running and I got away from the strength training and the recovery side of it. So I had time to get the run, but I didn't have time to get into the gym. I didn't have time to recover fully at night, get on the foam roller, get with the massage gun, get in the ice bath, whatever it was. I didn't have those times because it was run and then jump in the car and drive to Springfield for a basketball tournament. Run, jump in the car and get to a football game. Run. And then, so I didn't have those. And it eventually took a toll on my body because I wasn't taking care of it in the sense of running and endurance wise, I'm doing really good. Nutrition wise, doing really good. I'm not strength training. So that leads me to another thing you're talking about, Tim Cole and those guys. As runners years ago, it was kind of no, we don't need to get under weight. Like we don't want to put weight on our back. We don't want to do that because it could cause injury. Well, now we preach it. Be in the gym, strength train, be working some of those faster twitch muscles, but also just be strength training because this does take a toll on your body. The distance takes a toll on your body if you're not putting in some type of strength training. And that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't have time to get the strength training done and my body wore out. So I've switched it back. I was just telling Darren this morning, I got 3 days a week where I'm getting in the gym, getting in some strength training. The other 2 days is yoga, Pilates type stuff, core training, just to keep that up. And then I'm back to running every day now, but I can't say I did the 365 this year. I'll probably do it again once the kids slow down a little bit.
When life's a little easier.
When life's a little bit easier. Probably bit off more than I could chew this year with it.
It's tough.
But that actually helped me in my coaching because it proved our point, get out there and strength train and work on other things besides, even cross train, get on a bike sometimes, get in a pool sometimes, do something different than just running every single day because it will start to take a toll on your body.
When you get older, like we are, It gets worse. But I would strongly, and I tell our kids this, I would strongly encourage you, create a habit. Even if it's a half a mile. I love running it actually for a couple of reasons. One, it's like this, but it's a 1 mile loop. I did a marathon there at 26.2 miles. It was last year, February of last year. I would encourage that, but get in the habit of.
That's my first go.
Yeah. Did you switch directions occasionally? Did you run?
No, I run up that hill over and
that
over
would kill me.
And over.
Yeah.
It was awful. Awful. Some friends of mine in Waynesville, Nadine Albrecht, she's the one that told me about this 100-mile race. She said, you got to get on our running team. The Taji, have you heard Taji 100?
Yep.
It's awesome. She had a running team, 53 people on the team, and we were doing, it was in February. I was doing 2 miles a day every day for the year, 1,000 for the year. I knew that I was doing that, but I thought, golly, 100 miles 100 miles in February is a lot. And we're in the middle of wrestling. We got crazy things going on. So we're 5 days in, and you can see where everybody else is on there on the team. I'm in third place. John Lazo and another girl I didn't know. Mm-hmm. We were all jockeying within a mile or two. Every time I would enter, my watch tracks everything I do. Every time I enter my miles in there, I'd move to second, move to first. And then that afternoon, somebody'd move ahead of me. Just eating at me. Well, Randy and I are having lunch one day, and Sarah, and if anybody knows Coach Roark, they know he's always just gouging you just a little more. He goes, the only way you're going to win this, I was at 73.8 or something. It just, you could not have painted it any better. Because the only way you're going to win this is if you run a marathon. You better do it tomorrow or somebody's going to pass you. We are 6 days in, day 7. I thought, you know what? He's right. And I told Sarah doesn't even, I think what it does for me mentally, she sees the value in doing this. So I said, you know, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to Atchley. I went at 4 a.m., 26.2 laps out there. Wow. And let me tell you, 18, 19, 20 were hurting. It was.
I mean,
awful.
those are the ones, if you never done a marathon, like those are the ones that usually hurt, but I couldn't even imagine doing the same loop like that
right.
that many times.
I do like a mix of scenery. Yeah, I've always.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's Lebanon at Ashley Park. So, I mean, people-wise, you're probably getting a decent mix of different things.
I love the people out there. I call them the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
I could rattle off, I got my Cajun buddy, Cajun. I just call him Cajun every time I see him. I oftentimes see Tyler Wilburn on his bike, depending on when I run.
Yeah.
Sandy Johnson from the hospital and her husband are out there. They're the Breakfast Club.
Yeah. I was just joking
awesome.
with Tara, Tyler's wife, the other day, because I went out for a run, and as I was going out, I saw Tyler and their son go by on the electric bikes. They go by, and then I run a little bit farther up the road, and here's Tara with baby, and they're in the stroller walking. And so I finished my run, and I'm kind of walking back and cooling down, and she just gets into the park as the boys are like finishing up multiple laps on their electric bikes. And I was like, this doesn't seem fair. She's like, not at all.
I think I make Tyler mad because and he's the nicest human being you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
But he comes by and he's getting a ride in. He's getting some miles in.
Yeah.
I was running the other day, and I don't know if I should even mention this. I always have my headphones on running, and I see him coming. I'm always glad to see him. Well, I was laughing, and I know he had to be thinking, what in the world is wrong with this guy? So I paused my headphones and said, I'm listening to Chappelle. It's so funny. And he had to stop. Thanks for telling me. Keep right on going. My first marathon, I did the Bass Pro Marathon. I recommend all the Bass Pro. I've ran every one
and that's
of them.
a great, for anybody who really wants to do kind of their first half, that's a great one to start with.
Absolutely. Scenery's beautiful. Atmosphere is awesome. Well, we're running. I'm listening.
And it's a Boston qualifier now.
All right.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. We're running, and I was listening to audiobook, David Spade's a Polaroid guy in the Snapchat world. And there's a part in there where he's talking about Farley, his Matt Foley. They would go to places, they'd be hanging out, and he'd say, hey, call my buddy, it's Matt Foley. And he goes, I just so happen to have one of those right here. And because you're listening to the audiobook, you get to hear it. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. I'm running and laughing, and the people next to me are looking.
Well, by then they're thinking, well, this guy's just gone into delirium.
Yeah.
What mile are you on?
We already knew he was crazy, and now he's just really.
Yeah, he's already reached that point. That's exactly right. I mean, now he's just laughing and running.
Yes.
That's how bad it hurts.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
You, anytime you do those, you really, I think that's what you get more than anything out of running is what it does for you mentally.
Right.
You're forced. I was telling one of the kids, one of our wrestlers the other day, when I was a lot younger, I loved going and wrestling. You can go and wrestle, and it doesn't matter how stressful the day is. Even my wife and I next week will be at 25 years being married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Even early in our marriage, I could still go out and wrestle. I wrestled a lot. Actually, frankly, up until Zachary's senior year, I was still wrestling with our kids. And now your body's so daggum beat up, you can't wrestle anymore. That would take so much stress off, getting out and wrestling and beating up on each other. And, there's nothing bonds you like that. Well, now running takes the place of that. Running is...
Fill that void.
Yep.
So I know that you're probably... you're getting ready to start a race, right? So tell us about what you're getting ready to do.
It's the Bad Dog 100. I'd mentioned Nadine Albrecht. They're just wonderful people. They've had a lifetime of service in the military. Their son Daniel, I've coached on some national teams, and he had wrestled for us there. He's now a coach in Waynesville. The rivalries in the past we've had with Waynesville and Camdenton in football, as adults, you become so close to those people. And Nadine is just wonderful. She's the District 6 rep for Missouri USA wrestling. Anyway, we become friends through wrestling, and my wife. And she had, I was talking with her last wrestling season, said, I think this year I want to make this my 100-miler. And she goes, you really need to run our 100-miler. Well, I don't know. Let me think about it. And she told me it's a 10-mile loop. I wanted it to be tough. It's August. So you can't ask for a better time. In fact, this weekend here in a couple of days, August 16th. And it's going to be tough. So I thought, you know what? I think I can do that. I think that'll be a good one. I'm not going to light anything up. My goal, and I hate to sound so passive, is just to finish. In fact, when I ran with you just briefly a couple weeks ago or whatever, I feel like a sissy because I've been doing the Galloway. This is my training, Galloway method. In my particular case, it's 2 miles on, a half-mile walk, 2 miles on, half-mile walk. I'm going to start off with 4 miles on, a mile walk there. I'll do that the first probably 10, maybe 20 miles, depending on how it feels. And to answer your question, that's what I've got coming up. September 7th, I'm doing a full Ironman in Madison, Wisconsin. And that's got a unique and different set of challenges. You start with a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and then you run a full marathon at the end, 26.2. You have a 17-hour time limit. So it's tough. I'm right now just focused on this 100-miler. Frankly, I'll be glad when it's over.
So what are you doing mentally to prepare? I know physically you're doing all this, but what are you doing mentally?
I think Colin might be able to better explain it. When you run a whole lot, I think you're callousing your mind. In our wrestling room, and I've said this for years in Lebanon, callous your mind. When I go on a 20-mile run, you're callousing your mind. You hit a point. And actually more so, the last few weeks I've been running at 2 a.m. to get ready for the 2 a.m. start time. Let me back up. The Bad Dog 100, they let you start at 2 a.m. They just opened it up, make it a 36-hour window, which I like. I think it's going to take me about 30 hours to run. Anyway, I've been practicing at 2 a.m. I know people in this community, when they see me at 2 a.m., they're going, what in the world is this guy doing?
There's probably not a lot of people that see you at 2 a.m.
more than what you'd believe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we do have a lot of factories in town, so maybe they are like heading home or something after.
I was getting irritated this morning. Katie Huff gives me, every time I see her, she gives me crap about running on South 5. I get it. I don't run on South 5 very much up until I started this 2 a.m. running. I'm on South 5 heading north. Where was I? I was just getting ready to cross the highway on this morning, and there's a car. You got 2 lanes. You can see me. I'm the only idiot with the headlight on, and I don't know what he was doing. He probably heard me yell out some profanity. I didn't yell anything out, but I said it all right. You got 2 lanes. Why would you be all the way over crowding me?
Right.
But he's probably wondering what kind of idiot's out running at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Maybe he just wanted to get a little closer look at you.
Yeah, maybe.
Make sure you didn't have someone's bag or something.
I want to backtrack just a little bit. I really like that you said you went into. She said it was going to be that they make it difficult because they're doing it in August and they try to make it difficult. They do all these things. So I thought, okay, yeah, I could probably do that one. That mentality is kind of what you need when you're doing races like this. And I haven't done anything like 100-mile or anything like that myself, but endurance running or wrestling or really any sport, you have to kind of have that mindset of getting excited for the hard part of it. And so like she's telling you this is going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be in August. It's going to be hot. It's probably going to be humid. I mean, it's Missouri, dusty, all that stuff. You're going to be breathing in all this stuff and everything. And you're like, okay, yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, I'm going to do that one instead of, picking an easier one or something like that. You're like, yeah, I'll do the hard stuff. And so I really just wanted to tap in on that. I liked when you mentioned that because that is the mentality of a runner and other athletes as well. And then to kind of elaborate on what you were just saying, as runners, especially when you're doing a marathon, really, I'll go ahead and say like half marathon and beyond, you're going to hit multiple walls, is what we call them. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to hit a point where your body and your brain is like, what are you doing?
What are you putting me
Like,
through right
what are
now?
you putting me through? What are we
Right.
doing? This actually even happens. It happened to our kids yesterday. All summer we've been running in the morning. Well, we just switched over to evening practices yesterday. And just even that switch from running in the morning to running in the evening, the kids were like, man, I just did 4 miles a day, or I did 5 miles a day, and it was really hard, and blah, blah, blah. Just those little switches like that, it's going to affect you. So when you're doing a run, half marathon and beyond, you're going to hit those walls. And that's where the callus comes in of like, everything's telling you to stop. And you have to say, no, we're not doing this.
Right.
Something inside, because it's
Right.
not your brain. It's not your body telling you to keep going. There's something else
Right.
that you have that's like, no, both of you shut up. We're going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take just 1 or 2 more steps. And
And
you're like, all
through it.
right, I got this. And you're right through it. And you're going to hit those multiple times. Usually a lot of times for a marathon, it happens between that like 16 to 20 mile mark where you hit those. And then all of a sudden you get past that mark and you're like, all right, I can do another, 6 miles.
Yeah.
And to other people, that sounds crazy. But once you get past those walls, you do kind of like, the best way to kind of think about it is like the old Mario days where he like jumps up, he gets the 1-up, and just kind of that boost, and it just keeps going. I mean, once you get past that wall, it's like you get that little extra 1-up, and you're able to go a little bit further.
Yeah.
So, but I like that you kind of talked about the callus that you get, because when you think of, you're chopping wood, if you just start out and you chop wood over and over again, your hands are going to be beat up and bloody because they're soft. But over time, you're going to continue to build and build and build and build on those calluses. And that's how running is. You start out with walk, you lead into a jog, you lead into a run, and then eventually you're going to build up those calluses where you can, go out there and run as far as you can run. And with that, you have football, you have basketball, you have wrestling, you have all these sports. But what I tell our kids, I said, a lot of times those are limited. We can only do those particular sports for so long.
Right.
But there's often times that I'm doing a marathon and there's an 80-year-old out there.
You said that with Magda, and I love where you're going with that. You're 100% right.
This is a sport that you can compete in for a really long time, as long as you're taking care of yourself and you're doing that. And it's something that you can, Justin Britt right now.
My Lord.
He is, NFL.
Yes. He state champion wrestler, NFL. He's the best at everything he's done. And I explain this to people who don't run. What he's doing now is what the elite were doing in high school as runners and college. He's running at an elite pace. He'll qualify for Boston. He'll qualify for anything.
I mean, it's impressive what he's doing. And he's coming off of an ACL tear.
Yes.
And, that's kind of, I think, I don't know, I would like to get him on the show eventually, but I think that's how he kind of got into it, was through kind of the rehab and stuff of the healing process of it. But he has just taken to it. And he was talking about it in one of his videos. He's still crossing the finish line of a marathon gives him that same excitement that playing in a stadium full of thousands of people did in the NFL. I loved hearing him say that, especially someone who, he wasn't just a football player, but he was a big football player.
Right.
And now he's like, now I'm a runner, and just, loving every bit of it.
I preach that over and over. People talk about him. They go, golly, he's a big guy. He's putting up some good times. No, you don't understand. He's running elite. The level he was at in football and the level he was at in wrestling and other things he did, he's running at that level. He's going to be special. I mean, it's pretty impressive what he's doing now.
So he's telling me there's a chance.
Hey, but for real, with running, yes. All it is just building up that callus as you go. And eventually, no matter what age, you can do that.
Yeah.
And you can build up to it. There's a process, and that's why get your coaches, get your trainers, but there's a process to it. And as long as you do it correctly, you can keep doing this.
Do you use Strava?
I do, yeah.
I love Strava.
Yeah.
Well,
I Strava and I have a love-hate. And I have that really because of Katie Huff.
I was just going to mention her, and I have the same thing. I get on there and I'm feeling pretty good. I've done a 15-mile run at a pretty decent time, and then Katie Huff pops up. She's running like 10 miles at like a 7 pace. I was like, golly. Yeah. I mean, yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. And it's not just Katie there. I have other like friends on there and stuff that I'm like, come on, man. Like, just take it easy today so that I can look a little bit better.
Something to strive for.
And like yesterday I was kind of doing my like loop with the cross country team. I don't always go out with just one group. Sometimes I'll loop back and I'll run with other runners and everything. And one of our girls, she wasn't feeling good. She's kind of having an off day, that happens. Nothing like on her. She was having a rough day. Actually, I was very impressed with her. There were multiple times she could have been like, just one of our coaches was out with a water truck yesterday because it's so hot. She could have been like, just get the water truck over here and let him take me back. But she kept going. And so I got back and, I think I ended up at like an 8:43 pace or something like that. And I was like, oh man, my Strava buddies are going to get it.
Me too. Don't look at my times. I feel like a sissy because I'm doing that Galloway method, and I'm training exactly this way. But I was getting on Justin. Did you look at what he did last week? It was insane. I think like 60 some miles at like a 6 something pace or something.
I did see that he was doing a certain mileage.
I thought, God.
But I didn't see his times.
I felt, when I looked at that, I'm really backing off. Let's see, what did I have last week? Like 25 miles or something. I'm really backing off, which it's kind of interesting. I doubt you guys will know Danny Poe. He was a wrestler, but he was a coach I had for a long time in CrossFit. And he said, right before you go into competition, you should have backed off enough. I'm watering down everything you went through, but you should have backed off enough so when you go into competition, you're just kind of wanting to do it. You're just really antsy to do it. That's how, I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm actually looking forward to running on Saturday. I mean, this morning when I'm running, I'm going, golly, I'd like to turn. Today, I'm only running 3. Tomorrow will be 3, and then a mile or 2 miles the next couple of days. But you're wanting to run just a little bit more, and I'm holding myself back intentionally.
So that's what, when years ago, I think we had 3, United States, Britain, and maybe, I think he was Irish. They were going for the sub 4 mile, competing constantly, trying to get that sub 4, the first guys to ever do it. And they talked about that in the book where leading up to the actual race where they were going to try to go sub 4, they talk about holding themselves back, and the coach would hold them back and rein them in. So that by the time they got to the race, they were so like amped up to just run and to just like go out there strong, because they had been reserved for so long. So it's been something that coaches, especially in running, have used for many years, but coaches can use that in other sports as well, too. But yeah, it's been used in distance running for a long time where it's like, okay, we're going to work and work and work, and now we're going to rein back in just, a week before, just so that when you get to race day, you're like, okay, I get to finally go today. Like all just that work, everything that I finally get to go today. So yeah,
I'm telling you, this part of me is really scared for Saturday. But there's another part that's just one, I'll be glad when I have that huge weight lifted off my shoulders. But there's another part of me that's going, golly, I really want to open up. I want to get out and get after it. So I loved what you said before, going back on, I preach callous your mind, and the example you used was excellent. I've used that before with my kids. I've had a dad come up that, maybe works in sheetrock or drywall or whatever. And I'll tell those guys, the wrestlers, hey, take a look at his hands. Hey, Mr. Such and Such, come over here. He'll hold his hands out and they look just exactly what you expect. They're calloused and they're gritty and they're whatever. You look at him, you can't hide that. Look at his hands. He handles sheetrock every day, or he does construction. He swings a hammer every single day. Look at that. If he went out and were to unload a truck full of drywall and hang it, but he hadn't done that at all, it'd be so painful and so awful. So, well, Darren, you're packing stuff and doing things and all the times. But if you took somebody out in one of these buildings or one of these, the Mexican restaurant, or wherever, come out there and say, okay, I need your help swinging this hammer, doing whatever, their hands would be hurting so bad in a short amount of time. But because you've calloused them so well, you're so comfortable with that pain that you're in. We don't think about it because you do it every single day, but it's the same type thing. You callous your mind the very same way. I'll tell you what really got me into this. Coach Rogers introduced me to Goggins, and that should be said. And that guy's on another level.
Yeah. I mean, words can't even speak on the level that he's at as far as mental strength goes. And I try, anytime anybody becomes popular, you have a little bit of that, like, dude, like, whatever. Because I think, it's more jealousy than anything. But with Goggins, it's just like, you can't. There's no competing with that. I mean, it's impressive on what he has been able to accomplish. And listening to a podcast on how he trains and stuff like that, I mean, it's incredible. And to have that mindset and
the drive, the mindset,
the mental strength,
toughest dude on earth, period.
Yeah.
I was just running the other day thinking, man, I hadn't heard anything on Goggins in a long time. He's another kind of catalyst that's changed my mindset. I think if I could recommend, Can't Hurt Me is life-changing. And I'll back up and say, I can't stand the way he talks. I don't speak like a Sunday school teacher all the time, but F word is an adjective every other word or whatever. And it's just the way he's growing. It's kind of part of.
If you're going to listen to the book, just be prepared.
It's
just know it's there.
It's in the written version too.
Yeah.
I give that book out to a lot of kids, a lot of people, friends. If there's a book I've read that I think will help somebody, I'll give that. And you can buy both the edited and the non-edited version. I didn't even realize. I thought I would always warn the kids, hey, there's a lot of profanity in here. And he also uses literally and basically. That's just a pet peeve I have. He uses it every other sentence. But I was just thinking the other day, I haven't heard anything on him. He just kind of fell off the face of the earth. And then I see like the 8th, just a couple of days ago, he just completed a 200-mile race. And when you see him cross the finish line, he comes across and, I mean, just fresh. Like,
yeah. He's one of those where, I mean, it's proof that he's doing these runs, but when you're a kid and you're like, never meet your heroes or whatever, he's one of those that you're always kind of like, did someone like pick you up halfway through and just drive you to the finish line? Because the way he runs through a finish line, it's like you should be blacking out or something. Like there's something there, and he just comes through just flexing. And
his story, they'll make a movie about him and his mom for that matter. His mother's extraordinary too. His story is unbelievable. And that actually, when I start, I'm a sissy because I'll be listening to music and audiobooks while I'm running this weekend, but he when he first started, he went into the Air Force. He wanted to become the Air Force there's some kind of special forces they have. I'm not sure what that is.
Combat controller,
something.
Went
into
like
it.
Air Force.
The Air Force, all Air Force
Mr. Air Force over there.
I'm pretty sure everyone in the Air Force.
There's like, pretty sure what I did was.
He goes in and he goes through all their training. He's in the early part of it. They're doing something. They're doing their training so they can get qualified for it. And the medics pull him out and they say, "Hey, we've identified some kind of sickle cell trait you've got. Don't know if you have it or not, but it's dangerous. If you're doing diving and, if something happens, it's bad." So they pull him out, confirm it, get back to him. They say, "You know what? You don't have it, but you can honorably discharge, and it doesn't hurt you or whatever. You can get out. He said right there, and I'm paraphrasing horribly, but he said, you know what, I'm scared. I'm scared that could flare up or some kind of issue could happen. So he got out after that. Fast forward, he goes into civilian life and he's working for a bug exterminating company, getting fat. He gets up to like 280, just some crazy amount. He's eating donuts and just doing everything wrong, but he's got a job making $6 an hour or whatever he's doing. Sees a video, which is Discovery Channel, Bud's Class 243 or whatever. He just broke down crying. He goes, those guys, that's what real people are. I mean, those guys are animals. I want to be that. I'll fast forward. I'm skipping a lot. Goes into the SEALs to become a SEAL. It took him 3 times to get through until he finally passed. And then his book, Can't Hurt Me, the first one, I didn't enjoy the second one as much, but Can't Hurt Me is amazing. It is life-changing.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to the audio book. That's what I'm going to start. I think I'll be 30 miles in when I finish it. But I've read it 2 or 3 times. It's life-changing. I did a run from Camden. I don't mean to. I'm sorry.
No, you go for it.
Did a run from Camden. We had several years ago here in Lebanon. We had a pledge to our kids. The moral of the story, Coach Rourke wanted us to get at. We wouldn't ask anything of you that we wouldn't do ourselves. And the challenge the kids had for me was run from Camden High School to Lebanon. I had just read Can't Hurt Me, so I'm jacked up. It's like watching Rocky IV. I mean, you're all fired. You know how it is.
Yeah, it's funny. We used to watch that before cross-country races. Yeah, we have to watch Rocky IV.
Okay.
When I was in high school, we would watch, I'm a wrestler, but the Bulls, Michael Jordan. In my office, I have I got a huge picture of Michael Jordan, the old Wings picture. Jordan inspires me still. If he'd have been a wrestler, he'd have been a state champ and an All-American or whatever.
One of those that would have just been good at whatever it was that he was going to
He's a winner because of who he was and what he was. But we would watch the Bulls there and it'd get me fired up for wrestling. Any event, I had just read Can't Hurt Me, life-changing. I mean, it is. I encourage everybody, read that book. It'll change your life. I get down to, it's a weekend right before districts. I told the wife, said, I don't know if I'm going to get any more time before season to do this run from Camden to Lebanon. I think I'm going to do that. This is on the weekend. I had Sunday. I think it was Saturday. I've got today. This is the only Saturday we've got off, so I'm going to have to do that. So she drops me off at Camden. It was, I don't know. It was above freezing, but I think it was 38, and it was pouring rain. This is the only time I had to do. Love it. I ran in rain every single day last week in Panama. Look at look at what it was. What the weather was, and it was awesome. But I'm running through there, and I get to Mike's Country Store, Dollar General, across the street from there, and met my wife. I get a drink, have a banana. I got my last little bit, which I was going to stop there, but Rain goes, no. If you're running from Camden to Lebanon, you got to. That's what I tell you. Yeah. He always pushes it a little further. You run from that doesn't count. Ran all the way down here, and I get there, took my shirt off, put my stocking cap on, my gloves, and ran the rest of the day, pouring rain with no shirt on, at 38 degrees. I had kids when I came into practice on Monday. There were kids going up and down the highway, and their parents, and a bunch of them met me where I stopped at. Yeah. Kids go, hey, Mom and Dad saw you. And they said, wow, that guy's crazy, or that's awesome. I said, no, they didn't. They said, look at that idiot out there. That's what they said.
That's pretty much.
Which, to a runner, anytime you're called psycho, crazy, idiot, that's just fuel. Yeah,
That's right.
It's a badge of honor. It's
That's
like,
right.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yep. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
24.8 miles.
Yeah.
I ran 22.9 with Sergeant Sansom. He'd called me up a couple of years ago and said, we're going to do a run for veteran suicide, which is awesome deal. It was a really cool, patriotic thing. It was awesome. We did that in August 2 years ago.
Yeah. I remember when they were doing that. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I remember when Curtis was doing that. And Curtis is with my dad up at the they work at the same realty.
We went back there after we were done.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
He is, yeah. Cool guy. So going into your race coming up, your 100 miler, what's the game plan for night before? Well, day before, I guess, because you're really going in that morning at 2 a.m. What's kind of the game plan going into it? And then what is the goal the day of as you're starting, and kind of like what's your process throughout that race? The day before, going into it, the night of as you're preparing for the race, and then once you go into the race, what's the process of all that? So what I mean by that is, are you going to have certain checkpoints where you're meeting up with, do you have a team set up? Is your wife going to be set up, to where you're getting food, drink, gels, electrolytes, whatever you need for all of that? Kind of what's that process look for you? I know you were looking for an RV.
Yes. And that's what I'm planning on doing. I kind of like the way it is. I hate to make it softer than what it should. I had planned on sleeping in my bed, but I'm actually, what I think's going to happen, we're going to stay overnight there, so I can just get up at 1 or 1:30 or whatever and start at 2. There won't be anybody on the course other than the runners until for first aid stations, and that I think 6 o'clock is when everybody goes out and does that. So what I'm probably going to do, this is what I plan to do, go out on Friday night, and at the 2.5 mark, I'll probably, what I had been doing when we go on these long routes is bringing little small coolers where I'll bring 3 or 4 waters and different things to munch on or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm going to bring a bigger cooler, set it up out there. I'll probably put, 50 waters and whatever on there. Although I'm exaggerating, because at, 20, they'll be out there. There'll be people out there on the course. So, mm-hmm. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm really in a tough spot because a guy I wrestled with in college, I got an email a couple weeks ago. He was our 134 pounder, one of the best athletes I've ever known. He's a coach up in the St. Louis area. He's got a rare form of cancer, and they're doing a fundraiser for him. Mm-hmm. So I think I got an email from a bunch of guys I wrestle with, and I think a lot of us will be together. I'm kind of planning on going up there and at least, if nothing else, being there until 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and then head back to Waynesville, exit 152, the Buckhorn exit, mm-hmm. Set up my cooler, pass out there at the camper, and go there. Now, I don't have any pacers or anything. Mm-hmm. I might regret that later, but I think Zachary, I think he's going to, my son, bring his side-by-side out. I know Sarah's going to come there early in the, mm-hmm. sometime. I should probably be talking to you on this. Everything I've read is saying that it doesn't really matter the calories. You just need lots and lots of calories. And on my 50 miler, I would say that was pretty accurate. Mm-hmm. So I told Sarah, I'm thinking a Casey's pizza. I'm thinking sometime in the morning, maybe some McGriddles, things very high in calories. I probably should get your thoughts. I've been just picking people's brains on that.
Yeah. I would think more carbs than calories, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking like Casey's pizza, stuff like that, like there are going to be carbs in it, but it's going to be a lot of empty calories with that. And anytime you're thinking longer distance, which and most runners know this, there's going to be some bowel discomfort.
So I don't take gels for that very reason.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I'm not a fan of gels because of that reason. But so you have to be aware of that too. So what you're putting in your body, is it something that's going to do well in your body, if that makes sense? So you don't want to be putting something that it's just not going to settle well for you. Well, because you think you're going to be jarring up and down, and you're pushing your body to the limits. But when you're thinking calories, fats, things like that, carbohydrates they're the slow burner. So when you're running a distance like that, you want to make sure you are replenishing your carbs. And really, trying to get as much as you can. I know again, haven't done a distance like what you're about to do. But just through conversations with people and through just own research, a lot of people enjoy, of course, the good old PB&J. But then you also have people do like egg wraps and things like that, where they get some protein in there, but they also get the carb and stuff like that. So it's really up to you and kind of what your stomach is. Like my son, he's got a stomach of steel. He can eat anything and go out there and run. So I wouldn't be as concerned about him. But with me, I have a little bit more of a weaker stomach. So I got to be careful what I'm eating before I'm doing a longer run, because there'll be some discomfort there with that. But I'm looking at the slow burners. I don't want something like sugar or something like that that's going to burn off really quickly. I need a slow burner, like carbs and the fats and stuff that are going to burn a little bit slower.
I think that's well said.
I was watching the Olympics several years ago with the Michael Phelps, and they were showing his diet, and it was like 12 chocolate chip pancakes and just loaded with everything. And I'm like, holy cow. But then they said how many calories he was burning through each one of his races, and
his races and his training, because he was doing like 4 to 6 hours of training a day, I believe. And
swimming, brutal.
Stuff like that. And swimming, swimming even more so than running, you're using a lot more muscle groups than you are with running.
My little son, Grant, is a swimmer. And it's brutal. I swim with him once in a while. He's 10 years old. He's going to be special, I think. Yeah. Have you ever watched or read about what J.J. Watt was doing when he was competing? It was insane. It's like 50 pieces of bacon and like 2 cartons of eggs and all kinds of stuff. And he said, you know what? I have a shelf life. I can only do this for 10 or however many years. When it's over, and then I'll have to shift things. But right now, my job is get calories in me.
Yeah. Well, and I think Jason Kelsey's doing that right now. Now that he's retired, he's kind of making that shift, and you saw that he's had a big weight loss.
Look at Justin. I mean, Justin is not the same human he was 5 years ago. Yeah. And the same with Grant Wistrom. That kind of goes back to my time when he was playing for the Rams and the Seahawks. He was massive. If you see him now, he's leaner than you are.
Yeah.
It makes sense. When I first started all this running that I'm doing now, ran with Ethan Brown a lot. What an awesome human being and a great runner. He's a really good runner. He runs with Katie too.
I haven't had the opportunity to run with him or really spend much time with him, but I've heard a lot of good things about him.
What an amazing human being. I love him and Rocky. His wife is kind of like my wife. She just kind of puts up with all the running.
I think that's a good runner's wife is that way. I mean, you just... whatever.
He's like, I don't understand it, but
I don't understand it. My wife is very much the type where it's like, if she's running, you better run too, because there's something chasing, the go-to. But so I mean, that's just kind of how a good runner's wife is. And I've mentioned this before, but mine even has that where it's like I'll walk in the door after just like an awful day at work or whatever, and I don't even have to say a word. She'll just be like, "Go."
I love that you mentioned that. I don't know if it was with Magda or...
I think it was with Mindy's episode. Maybe it's Magda's. Because we talked a lot about running.
I felt that. When you said that, I got that.
Yeah.
That made sense. But running with Ethan, we first started going, he's telling me, well, we ran together that very first one where the guys at the gym go, Smith, you got to do this with us. He said, here, take a couple of these gels. Some people hate them, some people like them. But when you hit about mile 10 or so, you're going to start needing calorie or you'll need whatever. Yeah. So I did it. And I didn't realize it. I never associated it with. It wrecked my stomach. When I'm done, I mean, my stomach hurt more than anything else did. And I continued doing I didn't realize it was the gels. I continued doing the gels the next few races that I'd done. I don't do them anymore because I did realize that's what was causing the problem. Yeah. I had kind of a funny story, probably the wrong place to mention it, but it is kind of funny. I'd been doing these 2:00 runs in the morning to prepare for Saturday. And I fast every Monday. Was going Monday and Thursday, and then I'm thinking I'm depriving myself too many calories for this. I'm really going the opposite where I'm calorie loading up. But fast every Monday. On Tuesday, when I eat for the first time, just messes. It wreaks havoc on my stomach. I guess I'm getting old and finicky or whatever. So I get up at a couple weeks back, I get up on a Tuesday, 2 a.m. to go run, and it was a particularly long run. I think I was running like 18 miles or something that way. Mm-hmm. We live on South 5. I started run through town. I turn left and run through all like Orchard Hills and what have you, end up out on Springfield Road. I'm like 8 or 9 miles in, and then I'm coming right by Beatty's office, by Noble Hudson's son. I'm coming right downtown, heading towards the main, was at Jefferson. Right there, my stomach's turning. I didn't even think, oh crap, I'd eaten like a banana or something before I went out there. Uh-huh. Oh no. So I kind of, I turned and I see that, was it York's gas station across from Phones where I saw that place and I'm going, oh Lord, please let these guys be open. Nope. Oh no. Run a little further and I'm looking at Come and Go next to, was it Ramey's or whatever?
Yeah, Price Cutter.
Price Cutter. I look
it's
at
always
that.
Ramey's to us.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Yeah.
People will know.
Is that open? Oh no. I'm just going, what am I going to do? I run a little further and then I see right across the street, what is that?
Break time.
Break time.
Yeah.
Break time is open. Oh, thank God. So I get in there and it's at this time, I don't know, 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. And poor lady is in there. She was wonderful. I would be in such a bad mood at 3 o'clock, but she's in there kind of cleaning around the coffee. And I didn't want to scare her. I said, ma'am, I'm just going to go use the restroom really quick. No problem. I go in there and there's some guy in the bathroom and my stomach is turning and I can hear him. The little clicks on his phone. Click, 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 click.
It's probably Darren.
Yeah. Oh, was that you?
I must have spent 20 minutes in there.
Just
and
sending a video to Colin.
I started getting rude. I'm just pacing. Eventually went in there. But that could have been, you might have been reading about that in the paper if something
I think we've all been there, especially as runners. We used to have, I had certain people that I knew. I would tell them like, hey, just so you know, you're one of my houses. Right. I will do my best to take care of you while I'm in there and take care of your facility. But you're one of my houses because I know you and I'm comfortable with you. And there's been times where I've knocked at the door and they're like, go ahead. Because it happens. And the gels did that. So, well, I'm looking forward to, we're going to have you back. We're going to do kind of a recap with you after your race. So I'm really looking forward to that. So once you're done with the race here in a couple of weeks, we're going to have you back in and we're going to talk about how the race went, whether it was good or bad. Because as a runner, that's going to happen, but there's never a failure within our sport. We always learn something from it. So even if it goes great or something happens, we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna learn from it. And I'm super excited to have you back in and talk about that.
I'm glad you had me in here. I can tell you one thing I can predict, honestly, it is going to hurt. It's going to be painful. So,
well, good luck with it.
Yeah,
you'll do a good job.
Thank you very much.
It is, yeah. And I'm excited to hear about it and I wish you the best of luck with it. And I hope that I could follow in your footsteps with that once I'm not raising kids and things and can really focus on it.
I understand.
So I appreciate you coming in. Can't wait to have you back and look forward to your race and best of luck coming up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clint.
Love the show. Love what you guys are doing. Keep doing it. There's so many awesome stories here around town and in the area. Thank you very much. Thank you both.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you.